I'm not sure where you are in your trading journey right now, but if you have not already figured out, trading is 90% psychology and 10% strategy. And yes, that is a very bold statement. However, I've been trading for over 8 years now, and it took me about 3 years into my trading journey until I was finally able to learn this very valuable lesson I'm about to teach you guys today. In order to show you guys this lesson, we're going to use a trading example on BAC, which is Bank of America, and I was playing calls on it this past week. Now, the whole theme of this video really is to help you understand, and this is this one sentence that once I understood this, like I said, it drastically changed my trading. And that is, how can I become a good loser? And yes, I know you're probably thinking, did you really make me click on this video because you want me to become a good loser? I'm already great at losing. I lose tons of money all the time. I could just hear it through the computer screen because I have a bunch of members who they'll get on a losing streak, they'll get in their head, and next thing they know, their account's blown. I've been there so many times, I understand that, but that is not what I mean. I literally mean I want you to become good at losing. If you are blowing an account after maybe 1, 2, 3 losses, then you are very bad at losing, which is a horrible combination because yes, that leads to accounts being blown. The whole part of being a successful trader means that you are going to lose. That's part of it, right? You have to be able to lose gracefully. And so that was actually a lesson I had to learn. And it was something that I didn't see anybody on YouTube teaching. They were teaching me how to win, how many, winners they had that week, and how to make 5,000, how to make 10, 15, but they never made a video on how to properly lose, which was my biggest problem because I was good at winning. Oh, I had some really big days, but it didn't matter at the end of the day because I was really crappy at losing. So let me give you guys an example on how I would have done it back in the day. And then about year 3, like I said, which is when I really started to dig into the psychology part of all of this and understand what was causing me to self-sabotage and how I could change that, is what I want to share with you guys today. Okay, so on my screen right now, I have a couple of comments I made on BAC, and I'm going to give you an example of what I would have done in the past and then what I did this past week, which makes me a good loser. So let's go look at the chart first. So BAC, I have been playing dips and I've been buying calls on the dips, and it's just super simple strategy, right? Waiting for it to come down to a key support level or demand zone, and then I was looking to play calls to the upside. We are very, very oversold just because of the whole banking issue and the collapse and all of that good stuff. I shouldn't say good stuff, but it was chaotic, right? And it caused the whole sector to decrease in value very rapidly. So I like to take advantage of overreactions, and therefore I was looking for Bank of America calls. So I played them on this day right here, and I'll go back and show you in a minute, but I played them on this day, and then I tried to play them again on the second day. Now, old me, the one who was really bad at losing, this is how it would have played out, and let me know in the comments if you guys have ever experienced this. So here we are on Wednesday. I took Bank of America calls. I ended up making 28% just because I was very disciplined, but old me would have not even done that. I would have just held to the very best, right? So I probably would have tried to get out with 40, 50%, which these ran really, really high. I want to say over 50% on call side. So let's just say come Wednesday, I made out with 40% on calls, and I was in really, really heavy. I made a ton of money. I was super high on life. I was very, very elevated with my confidence. And so come the next day on Thursday, I'm like, okay, we're going to do it again. And so right in here, I buy the dip just like I did the day before. So I bought it here, went up, great, I profited. Next day comes around, I buy the dip. I'm super confident. Remember that. I'm confident because I just had a winner. And so my confidence basically just tells me, we're going to do this again. We're going to get another 30, 40, 50%. So I buy calls again. And then next thing I know, we go up and we start to come down. And then next thing I know, we start to fail low of day. And next thing I know, all the profits that I made the day before are gone. And now I'm down like $3,000. We're just going to throw out some random numbers. I'm miserable. I cut my losses finally before close because at that point I had just taken too much pain when it came to watching it drain all day long. So now I'm at an all-time low, what was the opposite of what I was yesterday. And it has a lot to do with the fact that I was a very, very bad loser. So now let's go back over what I did this past week. So I did in fact play calls, but I had a target in mind, and so I took profits right in here for 28%. Now let's go look at Discord, and you can see right here on the 29th at 9:18 a.m. I was looking to play calls. I went ahead and drew everything out. Let me bring this over. Went ahead and drew everything out that I was looking to happen. I had already planned all of this. I wanted to dip down by calls, and then we move up. So you can see right here on the 29th, we did in fact dip down like I had planned. We filled that blue box, and then we ended up rallying up. So I took profits, good to go. And nowadays I actually don't experience any type of elevated emotion because I'm just following a plan. I actually get more gratification from following a plan than I do seeing that green or red in my account. Now don't get me wrong, it's always exciting to make money and it always sucks to lose money. However, I've been able to break that bond between me getting super emotional on one side or the other. I more so will get emotional if I start going against my plan and breaking my rules, and then I'll get gratification if I am following my trading plan. So I've been able to switch where I get my dopamine from, and that's a way more advanced topic. If you guys want to hear more on that in trading psychology, I'm not really sure how much you guys like to hear this stuff, so let me know. I could geek out all day long. However, I was pretty neutral here. So the next day, when I came to do the exact same thing, I actually ended up losing this day. So this brings me into the phrase, keep your losers small, let your runners run. Or I'm sure you've heard that somewhere around the trading community on YouTube, is you want small losers and big winners. I mean, that's the ultimate goal. Now, how do you have small losers? Well, you have small losers by following a plan that has nothing to do with emotions. And I want to show you guys what I was looking for here. So you can see this is the 30th. So we're looking at the next day, because remember I had a really good winner Wednesday, and this was me trying to play it again on Thursday, which was the next day, the 30th. Just for reference, I was watching this channel here, and you can see we were in an uptrend, and I was looking to play calls if we held right here near the bottom of the channel around 28.70. In hindsight, I really, really wanted to play this rejection. It just happened too quick. So I wasn't able to catch that side of the wave, which was completely fine. So I just waited for my original entry, which was here if we held, and I was looking for buyers to be present. So let's go see what happened. All right, so around 28.70 was right in here. So what I did is I went ahead and bought calls. It was a little bit premature, and that was my fault. But again, I recognized that mistake, and I was very quick to cut the losses before it turned into a big disaster. And so right here, once we started to move up, we got a doji candle signifying indecision. And sure enough, we failed. Bulls were not strong. Volume was still very low. We also caught resistance. If you're looking left, where do we catch resistance? Very textbook resistance style trade here, and I was keeping an eye on all of these levels. I knew that if we were going to really reverse to the upside, we needed to break this, and we did not. We failed, and we moved back down. So I actually could have profited, and somebody in the group did catch a profit, I think of like 15% or something like that on this tiny move, because they were moving their stop up with the play. However, this was one of my bigger picture day trade plays. I did it the day before where I just kind of let it ride, and I was going to have a loose stop. It's not my scalps. My scalps, I have very tight stops. I'm moving them up, and I'm usually playing short-term expiration. But with this one, I just wanted it to do what it did the day before. However, I saw the weakness, and I ended up cutting it. I almost got out break even, but I was a little bit too slow, and we did start melting off rather quick-like. So my stop got hit, and I ended up taking a small loss of about 8%, I want to say. So the day before, I had a 28% winner, and the next day, I had an 8% loser. So that is what it means when it comes to being good at losing. Because if you're not good at losing, you're just going to automatically wipe out everything the day before and some, and you're never going to be able to become profitable. And I want to bring this up really quick. You can see at 10:56 a.m., these were the comments that I put. Failed cross up, which is just something I'm using for the EMAs, made me take a very small loss. So basically, the failed cross up meant that there were not strong enough buyers to propel us up to the original target that I had. And I also said where my entry and my exit was. So I entered around $36 per contract, and I got stopped out between 34 and 33. Some executed a little bit later. And I also took note that the doji candle on the 5-minute meant indecision on the cross up. And so there were several reasons on why this trade did not work, and that's okay. It took me so long to learn that. That is okay. That's part of the process. You are not going to win all the time. It actually matters more, in my opinion, how well you can lose versus how well you can win. Because if you can win, great. A lot of people can win. They'll get on that confidence level, they'll start sizing up, they'll get those big wins. But what it really comes down to is your first loser or your second loser. Because if you can't control your emotions enough while losing, you will constantly wipe out your account left and right. And the first solid 2 years, that was my biggest issue, is I was good. I had a strategy. I was doing very, very well. I mean, heck, I had some crazy, insane days where I don't even want to talk about how much money I made. But I was also extremely risky when it came to the type of trading I was doing. My risk management was poor. I was very, very emotional while trading, and I was horrible at losing. I mean, I would make probably $15,000, $20,000 one day, and the next day I'd go and lose $35,000, $40,000. And then the next day I'd make half of it back. The next day I'd make the other half back, and then by Friday I'd wipe it all out again. So that is what it looks like to be a horrible loser, is you have no risk management, which means it doesn't matter how much you win because you're just going to let it all go unless you get good at losing. So what are some things you can do to really help fix that? And this will be the last thing we talk about before we wrap this up. So for me, the things that really helped fix that was I got to know myself very well. I became very self-aware. So for me, that looked like meditation, journaling my trades, practicing self-discipline. So if I said I was going to do something, this was in real life and in trading, I made sure I did that. For example, if I did not have a hard stop and I told myself, okay, I'm going to stop out at low of day, that meant I stopped out at low of day. That did not mean that I just held and said, oh, well, maybe I'll stop out here because we caught support here yesterday. Oh, okay, maybe I'll stop out here because that was yesterday's low of day. By that time, you're down probably 40% and all of those gains are washed away. So you just talk yourself into holding and hoping for the best. Big, big point there is if you say you're going to do something, do it. And you can practice that outside of trading. It transfers over, trust me. So if you say you're going to go to the gym, go to the gym. If you say you're going to follow a diet, follow a diet. Because it all goes hand in hand into the fact you're building your discipline. You're building your ability to trust yourself. If you have a hard time doing that, set a hard stop. Don't even let yourself think about it. I had a member, awesome guy, and it only happened to him about 3 times, but that was all it took for it to wipe out his confidence. There was 3 different trades. He did not set a stop loss. He was oversized and he just let it go against him. And there's nothing worse than watching your money go away all day long and not doing anything about it because you're not disciplined enough. So don't even put yourself in the position where you have to make that decision to stop out. Just have a hard stop. There's other things you can do to help this, but I will say that's the biggest one. There's no need for me to harp on much more because to me, that was the biggest thing that changed my trading was when I realized, okay, the only person who has control over my success is me. The only person who can make me follow the trading strategy is me. I've learned so many, but it doesn't matter if you can't force yourself to follow the rules when it comes to that trading strategy. So, for example, if I would not have had a hard stop, all of these gains would have been wiped away. And I would have had to start over the next day and the next day. And you need to build your confidence as a trader, and that all comes down to self-discipline and being able to follow a plan and execute on it. And one more thing I want to touch on is a little phrase that helped me. It might help you, it might not, but I would always say to myself, there's always tomorrow. There's always tomorrow. I can always make another trade tomorrow. The stock market's not going anywhere. And just reassuring myself that just because today didn't end up doing the things that I thought it was going to be, aka managing your expectations, that's okay. That doesn't make you a failure. Again, it actually makes you successful if you're good at losing. That's a whole part of a good trader is they are really good at losing and they're really good at winning. And you got to find a balance act between both of those. And so next time you have a losing trade, do not let you beat yourself up over it. Take it as a way to learn. Did you lose because your strategy that was like the 1 out of the 3 times that it just wasn't going to work? Okay, cool. At least you followed your plan, and the next 2 times you have a better probability of it working. Or did the trade not work and you lose money because you broke your rules? Okay, cool. Then you know it's a you thing that you have to fix, not your strategy. But if you never recognize these patterns, you're never going to be able to break them. So I highly encourage you guys, I'm going to end this here. Just work on becoming a good loser, and it will radically transform your trading. And that's a wrap for today. I hope this was helpful. If you guys liked it and want more trading psychology content, let me know down below. I'm happy to dive in more. I absolutely geek out on this topic, and I think it's not talked about enough, especially considering how much of a big part it plays in whether you're successful or not, at least in my opinion. If you guys are interested in the trading community, look at the description box down below this video and you'll see a master link. I also have a free day trading seminar. If you are day trading with a small account, make sure you have the right account type. That will be the first link down below. And then if you want to follow me on Instagram, my only Instagram profile is in the description box down below. I will never direct message you. I do not trade crypto, and all the WhatsApp commenters down below are scammers. So with that being said, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next week.